When I was reading your book, I agree with most of it. I have to confess the sort of the edgy stance you take on No Child Left Behind leaves me a little uncomfortable, and I wonder if this is really a fight you want to make right now. I mean, George Miller was just in to see our editorial board, and he says this is the signature civil rights issue movement right now is No Child Left Behind. You may not like it very much, but that's the way that Miller sees it, and he sees maybe with a different name going into the future, and he would see that those skills that we were talking about that have tested, I mean, they just released the NAEP scores today. There's a small bump up in minority skills, but the gap remains the same. And I'm just wondering if this is a fight that you want to take on about No Preschooler Left Behind, as your vision of preschool being very different from No Child Left Behind.
I'm not an advocate in the classic out there in the field sense. I'm the little Diogenes with a light trying to figure out what truth turns out to be, and if I turn out to be unpopular in my views, or I turn out not to win, that matters a whole lot less to me. I don't feel as though I need to be politic about this set of issues, and I feel very strongly that we do our kids a disservice in all ways, including whether it's the competitiveness language or that we're talking about what's the economic competitiveness in the future, or the keeping kids out of trouble down the road. We do kids a real disservice by focusing there. And my hope is that that bill that Miller produces on Thursday is going to look a whole lot different from the 2001 legislation, a whole lot broader in its scope. One of the great phrases, the soft bigotry of low expectations, right? It's a great phrase. And it's true. It's absolutely right. But those expectations need to be broader than literacy and numeracy. And we've got an educating job to do. And that's one of the reasons that I'm spending my time doing this. It's not, I'd love it if people bought the book, which is, by the way, sitting outside with me at the table scribbling up the books. But I really would love it much more if the message gets out. If people understand, that it's more complicated than literacy plus numeracy equals, great economic success down the road, low crime rates, all the rest of it. Because you talk about overpromising.